around the league, he mentioned, right, we're going to bounce around the league a little bit. There's been, at least I thought this weekend, an overarching theme to why teams are losing. And I think this is going to sound like cheesy, but honesty is very important. Whether that be in relationships, whether that be in your business, whatever the case may be, honesty and looking not only to another person or to maybe your team if you're a sports team or you're in business and you're looking at your team, you got to be honest, right? But to yourself, right? As an organization, as a business, as a singular entity, as a singular person in a business, you got to be honest with yourself. And the amount of teams just point blank, flat out lying to themselves about what they are is absolutely ridiculous. It does not make any sense to me. I mean, seriously, the Patriots, are you going to really keep lying to yourself and tell you that that's the coach for the future? That that's the system for the future? It's the Patriot way. It's won all these years. Okay. Is it going to win any of the next 10 years? I doubt it. I would go on a limb here and say if Bill Belichick coaches for 10 more years, he does not have a singular winning season in him. Not one. He'd have to win out this year to even have one this year. Just lying to yourself that Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi and that receiving core is good enough in 2023. Wake up. Wait. How do you look yourself in the mirror every morning and say, yep, I love going to work with this cast? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, look at the Packers. Well, hey, Jordan Love made some really nice throws in that game. I'll tell you what, that throw to the corner was fantastic. What the 2 picks? The one in the end zone that was horrifically underthrown that Patrick Peterson got a hand on. How about the one at the end of the game that did he think DeMonte Casey was wearing a Packers jersey? I mean, he threw it right to him. I know it was forced. It's at the end of the game. It's the last play. I get that you have to take a shot. It doesn't hold the same weight as a first quarter pick right to somebody. I get that. But I mean, that was your best shot? You're going to keep lying to yourself that this is what we're going to run it back with? I mean, his last 4 games, he's completing under 55% of his throws. You're going to keep lying to yourself that this is the future? How about the Chargers? I mean, what are we waiting for with Brandon Staley? What are we waiting for? Are we waiting until he full-blown vomits, actually physically vomits bodily fluid on the sideline? He basically does it every Sunday. Are we waiting until he actually physically does it? I mean, what are we waiting for with Brandon Staley? The man should be bagging groceries. This is ridiculous. He is utterly abysmal. I mean, it's the most embarrassing coaching situation I think I've ever seen, or I guess at least I've ever covered, right? I've been covering the league closely now for 3 to 4 years, and even the history before that, I'm very well versed on. This is the most embarrassing coaching situation I've seen in a long time. To have that amount of money spent on defense, to have that amount of all pros on defense. Khalil Mack's a defensive player of the year. Joey Bosa is a defensive player of the year level player. Derwin James is a Pro Bowler. You have Pro Bowlers all over that defense. Asante Samuel Jr. is a fantastic corner. They've gotten worse since hiring a defensive coach. They've gotten worse. How does that make any sense? Justin Herbert's too good to be 4-5 right now. That's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. How about the Falcons? You're going to keep lying to yourself that Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke are the future? I mean, you had a chance to get Deshaun. And I'm not saying Deshaun's very good, but at least take a swing. No, we're good. Desmond Ridder is fantastic. He's the future. No, he's not. And then Heineke gets hurt. You bring Ridder back in, and now you can kind of convince yourself that he's been good because he had a little drive there late. He's not good. He's not a good quarterback. Go ahead and keep lying to yourself. The Jets with Zach Wilson, I mean, can we stop the charade? What are we doing? Robert Saleh, he actually didn't play that bad. He didn't play that good. I mean, you lost to the Raiders and Aiden O'Connell. They have an interim GM, an interim coach, and a third-string quarterback, and you lost to him. I mean, he didn't play good. It wasn't bad, okay? Yeah, it wasn't bad. Thank God he wasn't bad. He was not good. Did he help you win the game? Absolutely not. Did he help you lose? There's an argument for it. You know who didn't lie to themselves is the Arizona Cardinals with Kyler Murray. They stayed true to who they are. They said, no. We don't need to go get a big time quarterback. We don't need to go get a veteran guy to step in for Kyler. We're gonna hold down for it. We're gonna build the culture. We might not be great this year. We're gonna stick to our plan. We got a new coach. Let him go through his growing pains. We got good draft capital. I really like the pick this past year, Paris Johnson, the tackle. They got nice young pieces. Now, it's not a great roster. I think they have a bunch of holes, but they now have the draft capital to address those. and they said Kyler's going to come back. Kyler's a special talent. Would we like him to be 6'4" instead of 5'10"? Well, yeah, no shit. Everybody does. Like, that's not – obviously. Do we wish Isaiah Thomas was 6'10" and could shoot like that? Yeah. Like, that's a dumb argument to make. Of course we wish he was taller. But he's not. But he's special. Did you see that play with his legs? Have you seen how well he can throw the football? Have you seen his decision-making? It's actually pretty good for somebody who can barely see over the line. He actually makes the right throw most of the time. Zach Wilson can't figure out where to throw the football. Kyler Murray knows exactly what to do. Kyler Murray is a fantastic quarterback. That's a top 10 quarterback. In case you were wondering what a franchise quarterback looked like, say, hey, think about what they have asked him to do over the last, he's been in the league, this is his 4th year now. Hey, we're going to draft Josh Rosen and have Steve Wilkes as our coach. We're going to go 3-13, completely clean house. Kyler Murray, here's the keys to the franchise. We suck. Your coach is a guy who didn't have a winning record in college. Go win games. Year 2, playoffs. In the really, really loaded NFC West. You got McVay and at the time Stafford. Which, yes, he's hurt now. I know he's still on the team, but a healthy Stafford. You had Seattle and Pete Carroll. Russell Wilson was still the quarterback at the time, who at that time was playing like a Hall of Fame level player. And then you have, of course, Kyle Shanahan in that unbelievably loaded roster. Got to the playoffs, was competitive. That is a competitive football team with Kyler Murray healthy. So they said, hey, awful franchise. Has been voted the worst franchise to play for by all the players. Facility's terrible. Everything's awful with that franchise. The Bidwells are the worst owners in professional sports. Without a doubt, it's not even close. Kyler Murray take the keys. Gets to the playoffs. Gets hurt. Comes back a year later and says, hey, maybe he eases into it, right? Maybe we run the football a little bit, right? Kyler, don't put yourself in harm's way. Like, take it easy. 4th quarter, need a first down. Kyler Murray, save us. No protection. Nobody's getting open. You don't have a big-time receiver. I'd argue you don't even have a 2. You have a bunch of 3s. Figure it out. Why don't you do a loop-de-loop, go about 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, run around, make everybody miss, and get a first down. Lead them down to field goal range and win the football game. That's a franchise quarterback. That's somebody that says, hey, don't bullshit me. This is exactly what the situation that we're in. What are you going to do about it? We could sit here and play the blame game. Well, they didn't draft this guy. We're not very good on the offensive line, and I don't know about this coach. Doesn't matter. Win games. Does not matter. Win games. C.J. Stroud. Hey, the Texans, outside of Arizona, may be the worst franchise in football. Helping Deshaun Watson do weird-ass things in hotel rooms. Yeah, let it sink in for a second. Has been one of the worst organizations for the last 2 decades in football. C.J. Stroud, figure it out, buddy. Hey, on the road to the hottest team in football, figure it out, win games. And he did. We can keep lying to ourselves. Oh, but the offensive coordinator and the protection and this and that and the other. Go win games. Are you a franchise quarterback? Yes or no? If it's yes, then you better be winning games. You better be putting yourself in a position to win games. Quit lying to yourself that Jordan Love's the guy. Quit lying to yourself that Kenny Pickett's the guy. Right? Quit lying to yourself that Brandon Staley's the coach. Like, move on. Pivot quickly. Right? It's not the mistake that you make initially. It's the mistake that you just keep doubling down on. The Zach Wilson mistake. Move on. What are we looking at here? What are we doing? What are we doing? Brandon Staley, what are we doing? Right? You want to see what good quarterback play is. You want to see what good coaching is. You want to see when someone you have no doubt that they're the guy. Go look at Houston. Go look at Arizona. Those are the guys.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. We've seen a lot this weekend and bad coaching and bad beats. And I think one of them that stands out, too, is the Monday night game with Buffalo. And you have one play where you just, don't need to have more than 11 guys on the field. All you have to do is line up the correct way and hope for the best. And you give them another chance 5 yards closer, which is just ridiculous. You see it all around the league, and it's impressive to see Arizona kind of rebound just as quickly with Kyler coming back.
Like I'm telling you, they're going to go win. They're going to go win 4 or 5 games. They've already won 2. Look at their schedule. They're going to win some games.
I think they are definitely more competitive with Kyler. That is 100%.
Well, that's just not even.
You can't argue that.
That's not even a discussion. I mean, look at their schedule. So what? Upcoming games here. So they have at Houston, very winnable game.
Well, that's going to be a good game.
It's a winnable game. The Rams, they're rebuilding. Who are they starting at quarterback? Is it going to be Carson Wentz? I mean, that's a winnable game. At Pittsburgh, does that not seem like a game Pittsburgh loses?
It does.
I mean, I would pick the Steelers, but like we've seen that charade before.
It wouldn't surprise me.
San Fran, that's probably a loss. At Chicago, that's a win. Then you go to at Philly, that's going to be tough, and then the Seahawks at home. But it's a divisional game; anything can happen. That's 3 to 4 games that you are firmly in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It'll be interesting.